being a guy isn't easy. Well, neither is finding a job. We're at Hockeytown with one of our friends, Ryan Coyle, a professor at Walsh College of Business and actually the director of sales for Olympia Entertainment, the parent company that owns the Detroit Red Wings and Tigers. Ryan, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
The biggest thing that we want to cover is, what are two things kids are doing that aren't helping them get a job?
I think there's two key points to start off with. I think one, resume, for example.
Yeah.
Not so much the format or layout of the resume, but I think too many kids rely on that to be their tool to actually get a job. Mm-hmm. They're turning in 200 resumes a month in hopes that they get a bite from a company that they want to work for. And I think they need to realize if they're turning in 200 a month, that the company's getting tens of hundreds of thousand resumes a month.
Yeah.
There has to be something behind that. There has to be working sites like LinkedIn where you can find out the executives of different companies and utilize your friends at other companies correctly. Instead of just handing your resume to somebody and having them pass it on, sell that person as to why you should be hired. I think every time somebody hands me a resume and says, hey, what do you think about this person? And I'm like, well, I've never, ever met this person, so there's no way I'm going to vouch for somebody that could work next to me for the next 5 years.
Exactly.
It's just not realistic. I think the second point, internships, you see kids graduate with some sense of entitlement, obviously in a lot of debt and not the greatest financial situation, and they're looking for a job that pays immediately, and they're not open to taking unpaid internships. I think it's almost inevitable that you have a better chance of getting a job at a big company if you have an internship.
Yeah.
A lot of my students, I would say 5 out of 20, turn down the internship because of their financial situation, and they're still unemployed 12 months later. They could have been working at that company that they wanted to work at for the last 6 months. So the internship is your way in. If you've graduated, you're already usually qualified higher than somebody that's still in school. So I would definitely say internships is something you should try.
Yeah. I think finding a job and taking an internship is so important, especially when you're looking at a particular field, advertising, marketing, communications. Those are the top three, but sales is something that we never hear a lot about. Why do you think that is?
Sales is taboo. It's funny because the college, when they're putting my class online, will sometimes figure out a way not to involve the word sales because enrollment tends to be lower.
Yeah.
And day one in class, we'll do a survey. Who here wants a marketing job out of college? And you'll have 80% of the kids raise their hands. Advertising is usually around 100. In sales, after those two, rarely has any hands up. In the end of the day, you're going to have a sales job. 80%, I would say maybe even higher than 80% of jobs out of college in the business world will be a sales job. They might be covered up with certain titles. You might be a loan officer, you might be an account executive or an account manager, but you're going to be a salesperson, so don't be scared of it.
So looking for a job and looking at the title, a lot of times we don't look at the title as much as we look at the company. A great example is this, Olympia Entertainment, the Detroit Red Wings, the Detroit Tigers. This sounds like a dream job for a lot of people. Sure. Is this something that people looking at advertising sales will be able to get into?
If they approach it correctly. It's funny because I love interviewing for this job for the first probably 3 interviews, and then it is literally the same interview from that point on. It's kids that, first question, why are you here? Why Olympia? Why the Tigers? Why the Red Wings? And their answer is, I've always wanted to be in sports.
Yeah.
You know how long that line is around the building of people that want to be in sports? Differentiate yourself. If you're coming here to get a job, your best way in to this company and any other company is probably sales, if you're looking for a business type job. Mm-hmm. So the kids that have a chance to get a job here are the kids that come in and say, listen, I understand that this stadium and all this is fun and games, but at the end of the day, this is a sales job. This is a hand-to-hand combat, 70 cold calls a day sales job that has a nice finish on it. We're yet to have anybody say that. Differentiate yourself in the interview. Don't be scared of sales and say, that's why I'm here. I'm here to do a sales job. 99.9% of the people in the interview are here to have a sports job, which I don't know what that is, but it sounds fun.
But working for an organization like the Detroit Red Wings, the Detroit Tigers, it's fun. You are the director of sales for the organization. Did you take that same path? What was your major when you graduated? Did it catapult you into this job of sports and fun and games? How'd you get started?
The reason I'm so good at helping my students get jobs is because I went through the same dumb path that every single one of them go through. I started off, I graduated, turned down every internship possibility that they offered me because I was broke, didn't have any money. So I can't do an internship because it's not paid.
Yeah.
And then I finally landed a job as an account manager, and I called my dad and I go, well, thank God it's not sales.
Right.
And then day one I figured out it was 100% sales. So I'm involved in a sales job that I didn't know I was getting, and I learned very quickly that, okay, I'm making $60,000 year one. These marketing people for the same company and the people that do our advertising are making about 30 grand, and they've been there for 3 years. And the job I wanted was marketing. I didn't know what it meant either at the time, but I thought it sounded better than doing sales, so I'm going to hopefully get a job with this company, 2 years, move to marketing. It turns out when you're in sales, if you can do it, the compensation will not allow you to switch into a marketing or advertising job.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it worked out pretty good.
So I think we've learned a few things here. Not only do you have to, be open to new opportunities, you have to be able to kind of mold yourself to what you really want to do. Ryan, what are 2 things that you would suggest anybody, do or plan for when they're looking for their dream job?
I think when you say dream job, a lot of kids interpret that and look at it and say, I'm looking for the dream company more than I'm the dream job.
Yeah.
There's a ton of kids in every class that I have that say, I would do anything at Google. I just want to get in. Just get me in.
Right.
I know I'll be successful. I know I'll try hard. I just need to get in. Well, that approach doesn't work because they're looking for a particular person to do a particular job.
Yeah.
If you're not that person, you're not going to get that job. And sales is a good example. I pitch every kid in my class, listen, if you're looking for an advertising or marketing job, you're probably going to be in sales anyway. Approach the interviews as if you're going into a sales job. I'm here to do sales because the other part about sales, the compensation is great, trust me. Salespeople are some of the highest paid people in the company. The other part about is your ability to excel through the company at a very fast pace.
Yeah.
You rarely ever hear anybody say, wow, that guy's the top accountant, or he's probably our best HR guy. Never. Sales has allowed myself and a lot of other people to excel through a company at an amazing pace. So be open to that if you're gonna do something.
I think Ryan makes a great point. Be open. Being the director of sales at such a young age for a world-known organization like Olympia Entertainment, the Detroit Red Wings, and Tigers. Ryan, thanks again for your time, and I hope this helps everybody out there find a job that hopefully they can make as much money as Ryan did and enjoy it as much as Ryan does as well. And we'll be right back with more Help the Other Guy.